Rebecca Davis, a weird, scary, and interesting. And today's topic we're going to be talking about is urban legends for 2025. So yeah, we're going to be learning about some more. We're going to be talking about some more urban legends, like we did last season for season 1. In October last year for season 1, we talked about urban legends. And there's lots of urban legends. I'm thinking if we run out of urban legends, we might switch it up and talk about creepypastas. Okay, let's review what urban legends are, since we haven't been talking about them quite quite a while now, because season 1 has been over for quite a few months. And we're practically almost over. Season 2 is almost over. Close to the end of this month, season 2 is going to be done. So there's not so many episodes of season 2 left. But we're scary and interesting. So, okay. Before I get ahead of myself, let's review what urban legend is. Okay. Urban legends, a humorous or horrifying story or a piece of information circulated as though true, especially one purporting to involve someone vulgarly related or known to the teller. So it's probably somebody that is well aware of this of the certain urban legend, kind of like the urban legend of Bloody Mary. Are the urban legends we talked about last season, and ones we're going to be talking about this season, in this episode. Okay. A modern fictional tale that passes from one person to another. It's kind of like a tale that is passed down through generations or through circle of friends. This video is all about urban legends that has been told over years. Some were true, but some were not true. They were just a myth or a tale, and is a modern genre of a folklore. So sit tight and let's hear about some urban legends. I'll take a little drink of my Dr. Pepper and we'll learn about 22 urban legends. Our first urban legend is the 999 phone charging myth. The 999 phone charging myth is an urban legend claiming that dialing the emergency number 999 will charge a phone's battery on low battery mobile phone will charge it. Will charge a phone's battery that's on low, that's mobile. So it will charge the mobile phone's battery that is on low. In reality, this is false and was debunked by police forces who emphasize the calling 999 for anything other than genuine emergency waste controlled wastes. Okay, sorry. Any of that other than genuine emergencies waste. So calling this 999 other than genuine emergencies wastes critical time for services. So if you're trying this, see, I'm trying to make it sound sane, reading it to hear it back at it to make it sound insane. That mainly, if you're trying this myth, what the police forces are saying, if you try this myth, see, the police have debunked this, and they're saying who emphasize that calling 999 for anything other than emergency you need, and you're trying to call 999 to see if this myth is true, is wasting critical emergency services time. So this myth is not true. You will not charge your mobile phone on low when your mobile phone's battery's on low, because it's not gonna happen. Okay. So don't try that, because that's an emergency number. You don't want to be wasting emergency services numbers to try to see if this urban legend is true. Yeah. Can you believe it's snowing? We actually have it started to snow. Gonna be moving on to something else in a minute here. Okay. Now, let's move on from this our first myth, which obviously is not true. Calling emergency number of 999 is not going to charge your phone. Plugging it into electricity is going to charge your phone. Unless you have one of those wireless charging devices that might do it. Okay. Let's move on from the 999 phone charging myth to our second one, which is a myth about my 15th time cousin, which is Anastasia Romanoff. Yeah, okay, and it's about Anastasia Romanoff's survival. Yeah, there's a whole myth that my 15-time cousin could have survived her family's assassination by the Bolsheviks. Okay, let's see why. The Anastasia Romanoff survival is an urban legend. It is about the story of the youngest daughter of the last Russian Tsar, that she was supposed to have survived in 1918's execution of her family. I've heard about this legend ever since I read her diary in the Royal Diary series. Okay, the legend gained traction due to the trial confession surrounding the Romanovs' fate. And the secret of the Bolsheviks, which left her burial location unknown for years. Yeah, because for years no one knew where she was buried, because there was they found a majority of the her parents and some of her sisters, but there was two it was speculated whether it was Alexei and Maria or Anastasia whose bodies were missing. Okay, it was and it led to many imposters. So yeah, there was a lot of people that were claiming to be Anastasia, my 15-time cousin, the last Grand Duchess of Russia. Okay, and the one notable one is the most famous being Anna Anderson, claiming to be her. However, scientific evidence include DNA testing on the exhumed remains. So yeah, they had found, since the majority of them were found, they had enough remains to test between Anna Anderson's DNA and to the remains that they had. Nikki and of Anastasia's mom and dad and a few of her siblings. Has definitely proven that before I get since that it wasn't a match, so since they found Anastasia's, eventually they did find the other two that were missing out of the whole family of Anastasia's family, and sold. So it has definitely proven that Anastasia was killed with her family, since they found the remains of Anastasia. They tested it against her. I think it was Philip. The remains and found it. Okay, with her family. Okay, as I say, has definitely proven that Anastasia was killed with her family, with using the DNA to solve the mystery of Anastasia Romanov's survival. It is now has been debunked, the legend. So yeah, since they found all the remains of the Romanovs, they were able to test the DNA match on the remains, and it came out solving that this was Anastasia's remains. They actually, when they first found the remains of the Romanovs, it's actually mentioned in the Crown, when they had to DNA test against a relative of the Romanovs. And at the time, the living relative would have been Prince Philip, the father of King Charles. So since he's like so many times cousin to the Romanovs, because actually Tsarina Alexandria, the last Tsarina of Russia, she's actually relation to Philip through Queen Victoria, because Alexandria was his mom was Queen Victoria's daughter, so that would make Tsarina Alexandria Queen Victoria's granddaughter, and Anastasia and her siblings Queen Victoria's great-grandchildren. So technically that's a close relation there. I'm not sure on Tsar Nicholas II's side. I know on his wife's side there's a close connection because of Tsarina Alexandria being a descendant of Queen Victoria. So yeah. So there, since Anastasia remains was found, it proved that Anna Anderson was not what she claimed to be. So that myth was debunked. There's a lot of through history, a lot of claimants of people claiming to be like certain people. Like there's the claim that some guy that claims to be one of the princes of the tower, whether it's Prince Richard or his brother King Edward. And there's also the whole tale of the man in the iron mask. So yeah. That's why there's with the whole claiming that there's Anastasia's the last Grand Duchess of Russia. She's also in that's why she's also been claimed that there is a possibility. This before they found her remains, there was a possibility that she faked her death, but because of I heard when I was reading years ago when I was in high school, I read her diary because she's in the Royal Diary series. Her diary is, and it said that the claim was her and her sisters had stolen their jewels in their corsets, because back then they still wore corsets. That way, it almost like what we a bulletproof vest, but they were trying to make it almost like a bulletproof corset. That was weird. Okay, that's freaky. Let's move on from Anastasia, my 15th time cousin, and yeah, let's move on from her little myth that she might have survived. Obviously, she didn't. Because it's proven that she was killed with her family. So, let's move on to our third urban legend, which is the babysitter and the man upstairs. And for some of you, it's not totally what you're thinking, that title. Okay, the babysitter and the man upstairs, a classic urban legend about a teenage babysitter who revives man menacing phone calls from a man asking if she has checked on the children. The calls grow increasingly terrifying until the police trace them to inside the house and revealing the killer is already in the home with the children, and she's supposed to be watching. The story is often adapted into horror films like When a Stranger Calls. Ooh, that sounds scary. That would make you jump if you got a creepy phone call when you were supposed to be watching the children. They make you run and check on the little ones. Okay, let's move on from the very terrifying urban legend. I think that's a lot more terrifying than the urban legend about Anastasia, the lost Grand Duchess of Russia. Okay. Let's move on from the babysitter and the man upstairs. To number 4, which is Carmen Winstead, also known as Jessica Smith. This urban legend is about a 17-year-old girl in Indiana named Carmen Winstead was pushed down a sewer opened by 5 girls in her school. Trying to embarrass her in front of her school during a fire drill, but instead it led to her untimely death. Really, how's that gonna embarrass her when you killed her? Okay. Only after Carmen Winstead's untimely death, she returns as the vengeful ghost. Why not? Seeking justice for being murdered. This urban legend is also known as Jessica Smith's story because Jessica Hallonen, the creator of the story featuring Carmen, entirely shared it online, and later a different version also containing the name Jessica Smith. This was used in chain letters. This read the story. Some of you older viewers of mine probably remember the concept of a chain letter. It's like if you don't share it, bad luck will come to you. But if you do share, good luck will come to you. This urban legend was shared through Facebook, MySpace, and as an email chain letters in 2006. I remember seeing this. Let me see, stop seeing it. Now on that. The urban legend was recently seen a resurgence in popularity thanks to a new TikTok sound. Okay, I'll be right back and we'll finish. Okay. I'm back. Since we're talking about, we left off, we're talking about the Carmen Winstead, also known as Jessica Smith urban legend. Has any of you heard of that urban legend? Remember that being circulated around Facebook, MySpace? Who remembers MySpace? Excuse me. And as a email chain letters. Email chain letters are, I guess, something like the chain letter, the chain letters in your mail, and Colonel, it would say Colonel Winstead, got good luck because he sent one to 50 friends. Right. Mainly since it's made into a chain letter, it's supposed to be all in fun, but oh yeah, I have a wash on downstairs, so that's probably what that sounds. So, I think I shared this once or twice. Like the whole idea was, since it was on Facebook, since it was a chain letter, it's something's going off downstairs. Anyways, but you're supposed to, since this was a form of a chain letter, and that, like the modern version, I guess, since it was, and it's all the way back in 2006, this started, you had to share this. I think I shared it once or twice and just stopped sharing it. But obviously no bad luck came to me. So, more or less, is just an urban legend. It wasn't true, though. I know the story is based on bullying, and And bullying's not good at any setting. Even if it's an urban legend. Anyways, okay. Let's move on from the Carmen Winstead, also known as Jessica Smith. Urban legend to our fifth urban legend, which is Dead Children's Playground. Dead Children's Playground was a playground. Sorry, let's try this again. The Dead Children's Playground urban legend is about a park in Huntsville, Alabama, and next to Maple Hill Cemetery, that is said to be haunted by spirits of children. The legend claims that the spirits of children who died during the 1918 Spanish flu and particularly from serial killings in the 1960s. So there's a bunch of kids that would have, in this urban legend, had got killed by serial killers. And that who dumped the children's bodies nearby, so the children's bodies got dumped nearby this playground in this urban legend. The children returns to the playground after dark to play. Like the children's ghosts returned to the playground after dark. More or less picking up where they left off when they were in life before they died. Whether it's like the group of kids that got their life snuffed out because of the Spanish flu, or the ones that got murdered by serial killers. People reported paranormal activity, like swings moving on their own, and the sounds of children's laughter. And it's probably that when they go go check out if there's any kitties out at dark, after dark, playing. It's like, who in the world is letting their kids out this late? It's like 2 in the morning. I'm hearing kids' laughter. And they go search that playground. No one's there. It's vacant. Yeah. Guess the kids thinking in that urban legend just because we're not living anymore doesn't mean that we can not still enjoy being kids. Virtually the kids for all of eternity. Okay, let's move on from the Dead Children's Playground to number 6. It's the elevator game. Wonder if a lot of you have heard of this urban legend. Okay. The elevator game is a South Korean urban legend. So it's like our first South Asian urban legend for this episode. South Korean urban legend that describes a ritual to supposedly travel to another dimension. It involves taking an elevator alone in a building with at least 10 floors. And pressing the buttons 4, 2, 6, 2. Let's try this again. The buttons are, you have to press there. 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5, 1. For the sequence of floors, but here's some rules, more rules. But don't get off the elevator at floors 4, 2, 6, or 10. Because if you do, you will remain inside until you press the button for the first floor. After arriving on the 5th floor, beware of the 5th floor. Yeah. Because there lies a key element in this game is the rule of not to interact with a mysterious woman who may enter on the 5th floor. You must not get off on this floor. Some versions of the legend tells you to keep your eyes shut until the doors close. After reaching the 5th floor, the only way you can return home is once the game is finished. The doors open on the 1st floor. Exit the elevator immediately and don't look back. I wouldn't look back. You dare. I think that scratched it. Okay. Sorry, I thought I was on the screen or my wall. No, it's on the screen. So, okay. Yeah. You know, so I was trying to mimic it, play out the rules. Closing your eyes and reading the script is not easy. Okay. That sounds like a terrifying game. you screw up, I guess you're stuck. I bet a lot of my South Korean viewers probably know that game. I know that urban legend. Okay. And okay, now we're gonna move on from the elevator game to our next game. Our next urban legend is also South Asian. Southeast Asian. It's from the same area as the elevator game. And that's it. Number 7 is the fan death. And my arm is sore again. Okay. While I deal with the soreness of my arm, we will learn about this fan death. Fan death is a South Korean urban legend. As I say, it's from the same place as the elevator game. That claims sleeping in a closed room with electric fan running can be fatal. And though this is not scientifically possible, the myth likely gained traction in the 1970s, so long time ago. Possibly fueled by government warnings during an energy crisis, or sensible media reports. Sensationalized media reports. And stated today as a cultural phenomenon despite the lack of evidence. So, I bet there's a lot of people that sleep with their doors closed with a fan going. I don't. Mainly that way, if I keep the door open, if there's fire, it's an easy way out. Yeah. I can say probably it's more probably back in South Korea they might have had some energy crisis, could have been. I don't know. I wasn't born in the 70s. I was born in the 80s. Could be possible, or it depends on, it could have been sensationalized. Maybe it's just safe to just not keep your door closed with your fan going. But it is an urban legend anyways. Okay, let's move on from the fan death. Which you think of the name, you think of some fan it died, but it's the urban legend is about that possibly you could die if you kept the doors closed while you have electric fan plugged in. Yeah. So, okay, let's move on from the fan death to number 8. The Ghost of the Boy of Clinton Road. So, yeah, we're going from Southeast Asia to this side of the world. The Ghost of the Clinton Road. Okay, let's try this again. The Ghost of the Boy of the Clinton Road is a legend about a boy who drowned in the Clinton Brook and haunts the area around the stone arched bridge on Clinton Road in West Milford, New Jersey. According to the story, if you toss a coin into the water, the ghost boy will throw it back. Some variations claim the ghost will push people onto the water, or that the boy's face will appear just beneath the surface. Ooh, sounds like one freaky kid. And if you've seen horror movies that have children in it, you would understand that ghost children are scary. A ghost kid that's hanging around a road in New Jersey. Yeah, that's scary. That would make anybody get out of there fast. Okay, let's move on from the ghost boy of Clinton Road to number 9, and this one was mentioned on my roommate's channel on the episode of Ghost Things. I think it was part 1 or 2. She mentioned this one, and it is The Hands Resist Him. The Hands Resist Him is a 1972 painting by Bill Stoneham that became a subject of popular urban legend. Excuse you, Anita. The legend claims the painting is haunted after an eBay listing in 2000. Describes paranormal activities and reports of a strange experiences like illness, electronics malfunctions, objects moving at night emerged from viewers. The story further fueled the belief that it is caused because the owner of the first gallery and the art critic who viewed it both died within a year of becoming into contact with the painting. You know, I've heard this on other channels about the hands resist. The little boy's actually supposed to come out of the painting. And I can hear my roommate getting into the candy. Just give them to me.
No, it's
okay. So yeah, if you Anita's what it was mentioning on Anita's, and there's something that Doll's supposed to have had something holding in her hand, a GUN. But this is a urban legend that's started from an eBay listing back in the 2000s. You know, the 2000s, early 2000s. There's another would be a good we can look more into the of other paintings. Maybe we could, one of the seasons we could do maybe haunted gallery, maybe, and explore all the haunted paintings that are out there. And this one is is a haunted one. It claims to be haunted. Okay. There's a lot of YouTube channels that those have had this on there. Okay. Now let's move on from the Hands Resistum painting. One painting I probably won't ever own. I don't think I want me and Anita being cursed. You should check out the episode that she on her channel, just Anita, that is on there. I think it's Curse Things 1 or 2. Well, let's move on from the Hands Resistum to number 10. To a song, which is called In the Air Tonight. I bet a lot of people have heard of this song. In the Air Tonight, an urban legend claims the singer, the Phil Collins song, this one. The Phil Collins song is about witnessing a man refusing to save a drowning person. The song was a public accusation of the person at a concert. However, Phil Collins has reportedly debunked this legend. You know, the singer Phil Collins that sings this song. Stating that the song was inspired by a drowning story is untrue. So it's just an urban legend. It's untrue that the song was inspired by some guy refusing to save a guy saving a person that was drowning. So I don't know where that whole started, that somebody thought that of that. Probably somebody assumed. Hey, Snowy. Everybody remember Snowball? She hasn't been on this channel in a while. She's still going. For 16, she's still going. Aren't you, baby? Yeah. Okay. Now, Snowy will move on to From In the Air Tonight, by the song by Phil Collins. That's a good song. Heard of it. To number 11, which is The Jersey Devil. Okay. The Jersey Devil is a legendary creature or cryptid from South Jersey folklore, and said to inhabited the Pine Barrens. The most common version of the legend is says it is the monstrous 13th child a woman named Mother Leeds. And you're blocking the view, Snowy. Who cursed her unborn child before its birth in 1735. You're such... you're hogging the camera, cat. Okay, no one wants to see that. Okay. You need to share the camera, girl. Okay. Anyway, so it's okay. Cursed her unborn child before his birth in 1735. Thank you for sharing the camera, Snowy. Bless you. Leading it to transform into a winged bisexual monster that escaped and has haunted the area ever since. Descriptions of the creature vary. but often include a horse-like head with horns and bat-like wings, hooves, clawed hands, and a forked tail. Does sound like Satan's love child. I guess that's what happens when you curse your child, unborn child. Maybe she wasn't wanting 13 kids. She didn't have to say yes to her husband that day. Okay, you're hogging the screen again. Are you a drama hog? Are you just hogging the limelight? That guy sounds scary, doesn't he? Yeah. I have to charge my phone. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause and charge my phone. Okay, I'm back, and you can see Snowball's gone now. Okay. So we were talking about the Jersey Devil before I had to get up and get a charger, otherwise we wouldn't be able to finish this. So I'm reading the script on my phone. Okay, that sounds like it. So the description I read of the Jersey Devil sounds frightening. And here comes Snowball again. You coming back up? No? Okay. You're back. He's back. Okay. Okay, Snowball, we're gonna read move on to another urban legend. Are you helping? No, no one wants to see your butt. No, you're gonna get your butt famous. Okay. Snowy. Your butt. No one wants to see that. You gonna say hi, Snowy? Okay. Let's move on from the Jersey Devil. We're gonna go, technically back to Southeast Asia. And that brings us to number 12. I hope I get this right because I did try to pronounce it before this. Okay. Ku Chai Sake Una. I got it right. Ku Chai Sake Una. Okay, Snowy blocking the view. Could. No one wants to see your butt. No one wants to see your butt. Okay. If I pet you, you might move. Okay, there we go. Good chai sake una. The slitted mouth woman is a Japanese urban legend. Yeah, last year we had a list of Japanese urban legends. But, okay, but, about a vengeful spirit who appears as a woman wearing a surgical mask and carrying scissors. She corners her victims and asks them, "Am I pretty?" If the answer is no, she kills them with her scissors. If the answer is yes, she will reveal her mouth, and which is slitted from ear to ear. And she will ask again. I guess just to make sure if you're not lying to her. The negative response this time leads to her disfiguring the victim's mouth to match her own. Ooh. She means business. And while a positive response can result in her victims being killed anyways. So, more or less is a spirit that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. One Japanese victim you want to stay away if you ever visit Japan. Possible ways to survive the encounter. More or less, if you come upon you chai sake una. If you ever visit Japan and you run into her, the possible ways to survive the encounter include saying "so-so," confusing her to distract her. Bye, Snowy! This way. He's like, or unless she wouldn't know what to do if you go so-so. Okay, am I confusing you just saying so-so? Guess that effect works on cats too. Snowy's back. You didn't go away far. Okay. We can hang out and finish out the rest of the urban legends. We only got 13 more to go. Okay. Now, let's move from Southeast Asia right completely out of the continent of Asia to our 14th urban legend, which is in Europe. And that is the Lafayette vampire. perfect for where we are going in this urban legends. The Lafayette vampire is about, and you're gonna just sit right there, aren't you? Okay. I guess we'll talk around you. Okay, the Lafayette vampire urban legend is about the grave of Theodore Galavia, a Romanian. So yeah, we're going to Romania. A Romanian immigrant and coal miner who died in 1818 and was buried in Lafayette. Oh. It's not Romania. Okay. Never mind. We're going to the U.S. So, Lafayette, Colorado. Next time I need to learn how to read further. So from Southeast Asia back to the United States. You could tell this cat likes to hog the camera. So Lafayette, he was buried in Lafayette, Colorado. The legend began because his gravestone listed Transylvania. Oh, that's why. See here, he's Romanian. Transylvania is in Romania. Get it? Get it? Okay. Cat, you need to learn how to share. There. You can have that corner, and I have this corner. Fair. Right? Okay. So since it was listed Transylvania on his gravestone as his birthplace, leading to rumors that he was a vampire. Because, Transylvania is famous for Count Dracula. And Count Dracula was inspired by Vlad the Impaler. So, in Transylvania now is associated with, always associated, you think of vampires, you think of Transylvania. Okay. The legend includes claims that the townspeople drugged up the body and found evidence like blood and drove a stake through his heart from which deeper tree grew. So yeah, since they thought that he was in this urban legend, they thought he was a vampire. So they thought, what's the best way to kill a vampire? To drive a stake through the vampire's heart. I guess if he was a werewolf, you would shoot him with a silver bullet. But since they thought he was a vampire, because he was from, because his tombstone said Transylvania, he's from Romania, they probably put two and two together and thought, oh, he's a vampire. before nightfall. Bye, Snowy. So they thought, before nightfall, we'll go swing by the cemetery, drive a stake through his heart. After we dig him up, drive stake through his heart. And we can all sleep better tonight. And that was, according to the urban legends, instead of them thinking that he was going to die, a tree grew out of him. Wonder who had the last laugh in this urban legend. Sounds like the Lafayette vampire. Sorry, I thought we were going to Europe, but we were going back to the United States in this. Obviously, I should have read further. So. Wait, so that we were going to Romania. Oh well. Okay. So, staying in the United States. So we're going from Colorado to Illinois. And number 14 with the Mad Gasser, Matt Toon. The Mad Gasser of Matt Toon is an urban legend about a series of alleged gas attacks in Mattoon, Illinois, during the 1940s, which is now widely considered to be a case of mass hysteria, kind of like that War of the Worlds broadcast that Orson Welles did over the radio, like way before my time. Well, a lot of my older viewers probably, if I have viewers that are still alive, that probably remember that War of the Worlds broadcast that Orson Welles had broadcast on radio a long time ago. Freak a bunch of people. That's what happens when they start with hysteria. That people just get a little bit of it and then they freak out. Okay. Residents reported a mysterious figure spraying a sweet-smelling gas that caused temporary paralysis, nauseousness, illness, but no serious injuries or deaths occurred. Explanations suggested that the events were likely caused by a combination of factors, including atomic spectric conditions around nearby industrial plants and socialized panic fueled by media reports and rumors. So, like a rumor that one person says it and it gets kind of passed down through around the town, and it's kind of like the game Telephone. One person would say like Lady Black would start with that she seen like a mummy outbreak, a zombie outbreak. A bad fashion choice, and then it gets eventually passed along, and then eventually it'll get turned into the mummy outbreak story. And then people are screaming and terrified and boarding up the house. Or living in the bomb shelter. Because they're afraid that the Michael Jackson music video is coming to life. That the night of the dead is here. Grandma's coming to life. Your whole family tree is awakening. Everybody that lives at the cemetery is awake now. And then people are screaming. It's like the whole Orson Welles thing, that it's a story of that he did for, it was like a Halloween special thing on the radio that of the War of the Worlds, but when some people just tuned in and missed the start of it, they thought it was live, it was happening. Yeah. But, and unfortunately the media got a hold of it and twisted it to make it look like it was the way it is, like in the Mad Gasser, that they thought made it more than what it is, and it was just probably a harmless rumor going around town, and to probably have people have fun, and for around maybe the Halloween season, and it wasn't, there wasn't no Mad Gasser. There wasn't nobody running around town spraying a sweet smell and paralyzing people and making them nauseous or an illness. So, were they thinking it was caused by a combination of different factors? It was just probably just harmless. That they, more or less, they just got twisted into people thinking it was real. Somebody running around town harming people when it wasn't. Okay. Let's move on from number 14 to, hold on. Okay, we're back. We're talking about the Mad Gasser. So more or less, as we were talking, that it got more or less, the legend just got twisted into this urban legend got twisted into making it sound like it was real. So there you go. So we're moving on from the Mad Gasser to number 15, which is the Nia Rouge. The Nia Rouge is a legendary creature in Detroit. So we're still staying in the United States. Detroit folklore, red imp or dwarf appearance is said to foretell misfortune and disaster. The legend dates back to the city's founding by Andre de El Mothi Cadillac, who supposedly angered the creature and suffered a strain of bad luck as a result. And Snowy's back. But off camera. Stay there. Okay. Ryan, you're coming. Hi, Snow. Today, Detroiters sympathetically banished the Nia Rouge each spring with the excuse me, you're like okay, what we're talking about. The Marche de Nia Rouge and a parade where they dress in costumes to drive the creature out and ward off misfortune for the year. Probably a great way to start the year by making sure this creature's not coming back. Right, you crazy cat. Okay, let's move on from the Nia Rouge to number 16 on Jug, spelled O-N-G, his hat. The Onge's hat urban legend is a fictional conspiracy theory. Oh, this is our first conspiracy theory for the channel. That originated in the 1980s. Oh, the decade me and Anita were born, and countless others. With Joseph Mathanares, the Inconceivable Papers, which claim a group of renegade scientists use Onge's hat, a ghost town in New Jersey, Pine Barrens. Oh, we're going back to the Pine Barrens, same area the New Jersey Devils from. Okay, and as a gateway to the parallel dimension. So they have a hat that can take you to a parallel dimension. On top of it, a cryptid in that area. Okay. While the story was intended as fiction, many people have since believed it to be a real conspiracy, which Joseph Matheny later created the story onto one of the first alternate reality games, in brackets, is ARGs. So, yeah. So I guess there's a lot of things going on in the Pine Barrens, the New Jersey. Alternate dimensions and cryptids. Must be wild living in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. Okay. Let's move on from Onge's hat to number 17, which is the Parson and Clark. The urban legend of Parson and Clark is a deviation folklore about corrupted Norris clergyman and his clerk, who are turned into stone by the devil as a punishment for the greed. Ooh. The legend is associated with two prominent sandstone rock formations or sea stacks, location on the coast between also, we're not in the United States, we're going to the UK. So this is in Tig and Mount and Dawlish, England. So this far away from the United States. So this is mainly a couple of guys that pissed off the devil, and so the devil did Medusa's trick and just turn these two into stone. Okay. Let's move on from Parsons and the clerk to the Red Lady of Huntington Dawn, which is at 18. Okay, so we're going from the UK back to the United States. Urban Legends video. We're going almost everywhere around the globe. Okay. The Red Lady of Huntington Dawn. The Red Lady of Huntington Dawn is an urban legend about the ghost of Huntington Dawn College in Montgomery, Alabama. There's somebody famous buried in Montgomery. There are two versions of the story. The first involves a glowing red apparition with a pistol that appeared at the college's original Tuskegee campus. The second, more commonly cited story is about a lonely student named Martha who became so depressed and isolated she took her own life, leading to her ghost to haunt the dorms in a red dress. You're really getting noticed if you're wearing red. The legend says her ghost can be identified by a scent of roses or a drop in temperature. Don't they always say that when there's a ghost that comes in the room, that the temperature in the room seems to drop? In the room, it feels like you just walked into a walk-in freezer. Okay. Got 4 more left to go before we are done. So let's go on from the Red Lady of Huntington Dawn to number 19, and that is La Llorona. And we're going from the United States to South America. La Llorona is a Venezuelan urban legend about a vengeful spirit of a woman who was betrayed by her husband and her mother. In rage, she was cursed to become a spirit that appears to unfaithful men, often lured them in and punished them. The legend says she now haunts Venezuelan plains, internally seeking revenge on an unfaithful partners. I guess since Mommy Dearest and her honey betrayed her. She got her man in bed with her mom. Weird. Wonder why she went on the revenge. Went to get revenge. There's a lot of, when I was writing the script and I came upon this kind of reminds me of another, another Spanish, ghost, but it's in Mexico, but the difference is the ghost in Spain. I'm trying to think of it, but the name's not coming to me. That reminds me that in Mexico, maybe some of the Mexican watchers would know who it is. So there's a ghost in Mexico. The story goes that her man cheated on her, and actually she was supposed to be the beautifulest woman in all Mexico, and her man cheated on her. So in revenge, she drowned their sons, and she thinks she killed her own self, and but she wasn't allowed to. When she died, she wasn't allowed to go enter heaven because until she found her children, and all eternity she has to look for her children. It's kind of like this. It's almost the exact same, but this one, she's got Blessed Sayona. Essentially, it's a mental spirit. She's going after unfaithful partners. Their punishment. So, okay. Let's move on from La Llorona to our next one, which is at number 20, and this one, it's gonna take us to Europe. And it is, hopefully I pronounced it right. I'm not very good with German. Okay. Teufelsstritt. Okay. The Teufelsstritt in brackets is the devil's footprint. Okay. is an urban legend associated with Fu Kai or Chi Cathedral in Munch, Germany, about a deal with the devil for its construction. Legend says the devil was tricked. Ooh, you don't go doing that to the devil. Into funding a church without windows. But when he stomped his foot in fury after discovering hidden windows, he left a large and black footprint on the floor at the entrance that can still be seen today. Isn't that what they kind of say? Isn't that what they kind of say that about the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, France? That I think it was the monk that was in charge of building the Cathedral of Notre Dame in France, in Paris, France, that the monk got the devil to help him out build this build the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Seems like in this video there's a lot about urban legends that are associated with the devil. It's kind of like that legend with that one singer, the story about the Crossroads tale that the one singer, Robert Johnson, he made a deal with the devil so he could become famous. Make a deal with the devil. The devil's gonna cash in. And obviously you don't want to piss the devil off. Otherwise you might, like the church, the cathedral in Munch, Germany, you might get a little pissed off and you have him stomp his foot in fury. Obviously, I guess in this urban legend he was lied to that there would be no windows until he found hidden windows. Must have been a last minute change in the blueprints, and they didn't consult with Satan, and I can see where he got a little angry. Maybe next time you make a deal with the devil on anything from construction, deals with construction, consult him and say, yeah, we decided we're gonna go a different way. Like, we're gonna put solar panels in instead of lying to him that there's not going to be no solar panels. That's knowing again. Or putting windows in. Make sure you tell Lucifer that, by the way, we're putting little hidden windows in. Maybe the windows were supposed to be in the little place where you tell you go for a confession. Bye, Snowy. Okay. Hey, we got 2 more left. So let's move on from number 19. Number 20. To number 21. And is The Vanishing Hotel, aka Vanishing Lady. This is kind of like the one about the chain letter thing, about the woman, the girl that there's possibly another name to it. Okay, let's see why it has an AKA part of it. The Vanishing Hotel Room, or Vanishing Lady, is an urban legend about a mother and daughter in Paris. In Paris. Wonder if this is Paris I'm thinking of. Who checked in to a hotel. The mother falls ill and the daughter is sent to get medicine. When she returns, the hotel staff deny knowing the mother. Her room is empty and all evidence of the mother has been erased, sometimes accompanied by the news that the mother had died early in the pandemic. The legend's earliest known written version was in 1897, so in the Victorian era, by Nancy Vincent McClelland. Was she actually there, or maybe she... So, this is kind of weird urban legend. It's one of those things that new staff, I think they would have remembered them coming in, checking in, and heard that the mom had got sick and the daughter just stepped out to a local drugstore, a local Victorian drugstore, to go get mom go get some cough medicine or whatever medicine was prescribed back in the Victorian era. Maybe it was one of those things, the room, since the room, maybe the room was, alternate dimension, where mom's trapped in there for all eternity. Something sketchy going on in the hotel. Okay, let's move on from The Vanishing Hotel, aka The Vanishing Lady, which I think that room could have had a dimension where you step into it and you never come back out. It's kind of like an episode of Simpsons when Homer found an alternate dimension to hide in, so he can hide away from his sister-in-laws, Patty and Selma. Okay, let's move on from that, from the Vanishing Hotels, aka Vanishing Ladies, to our final one, number 22, and that is Walt Disney's Cryo Chamber. I think that this one has been mentioned in popular culture. It's also been mentioned in, there's a episode of The Golden Girls when Blanche was trying to look young for the guy that she thought that he liked her, but turned out he liked her because as a mother figure, because obviously he hadn't seen his mom in years. And when she was, it's funny in there that Blanche's taking all these supplements and exercising along a lot, and told Dorothy that I lost so many pounds and I'm looking younger and feeling younger. And Dorothy said to Blanche, well, that's great. At least when they defrost Walt Disney, he'll have somebody to go out with. Okay. Let's get into this final one. The Walt Disney's Cryo Chamber is an urban legend that claims Walt Disney was secretly cryogenically frozen after his death, with some versions even placing his body under a ride at Disneyland. This is false. Walt Disney was cremated, and his ashes were interred in Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. The myth likely began after his death in 1966 due to his known interest in the future, and was fueled by later speculation and tabloid stories. Like, but a lot of my older viewers remember that Walt Disney had was big into the whole future, and Disneyland actually might have been World 2 used to have a ride that would have been based on the future of what life could have been like probably now. The whole idea that probably when he was alive, the speculation that the future we could have been driving hovercraft cars and and having different things. It kind of like the life of the Jetsons. Probably a lot of people have seen the Jetsons. You think of it, actually a lot of the things in the Jetsons that we have are coming out, have been starting to be invented now. We got robots, IA. I think a couple of years ago I heard there's some company that okay, I'm like wrapping this up. Some company I think invented the hover cars. You wonder the hover cars. I wonder if the cars that you can drive like in the air, like George Jetson did in the Jetsons. I wonder if you have to have a pilot's license because it's up in the air. And yeah, it seemed like there's somewhere on, I seen it on YouTube, there's an old video clip of Walt talking about what life in the future could be. Like back in his day, 2025 would be the future. Even the 90s would have been the future to hit from the 60s. You think of it, we're in 2025, the future could be 50, 60 years from now. To us. We don't know what life could be like. Hell, in the year 3000, life could be like what we see on Futurama. I have when I did think of the idea of this coming out, making this starting this channel and Weird, Scary, and Interesting, I was thinking one of the topics for this channel would have been we could explore is what things that we have that were showcased on the Jetsons, and like things that we have now and that have been invented, and like on the Jetsons there's Rosie the robot. We do have a Rosie the robot that's called IA. Well, we don't, no one's invented the food rack cycles. That would make life a lot more simple. So, yeah. It's always nice to look at, to see what life would be like in the future. And I can see Walt's idea of being interested of what things, bless you, Anita, what life would be down in the future. And there's if you look, there's a lot of videos online that have people way in the past talked about what life in the future would be like. But they're talking about the future from the decade they are in. So, yeah. Well, There you go. So, hopefully you like this. I found this interesting, maybe a bit. Some of the urban legends on this a little bit weird, maybe a little bit scary. Maybe some of the Southeast Asian ones. Well, maybe sometime, I'm thinking maybe sometime in one of the seasons we will look at, I wanna do an episode on celebrities that fake deaths, and we could look more into the whole Anna Anderson thing and why she claimed to be my 15th time cousin Anastasia Romanov, the last Grand Duchess of Russia, which we all know now that supposedly my 15th time cousin Anastasia never survived. She died. Which that's sad. And there's a lot of it'd be quite a lot of that. A lot of you probably, my viewers probably be interested in a topic like that of celebrities that have fake deaths. She's not the only Russian imperial royal member that claimed to. I think one of her ancestors, there's a rumor that I think it was Tsar Alexander III is claimed to have faked his death. So, I hope you find this interesting and maybe a little bit scary and weird, some of them. That elevator one might be a little scary if you tried it. So, if you did find this, enjoy this episode, then you know the drill. Like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Tell me if you heard of any of these urban legends in the comment section. And don't worry, next season we're going to do another urban legend. We'll keep on doing this till we run out of urban legends. And like I forgot, I noticed last week I forgot to say this. Don't forget to ring the bell. So yeah. So next week I'm planning on doing something since we're coming up to Remembrance Day in Canada. And for you, my American watchers, we have in there, you have Veterans Day coming up. For some reason, my brain gets mixed up with Memorial's in May for you guys. I'm going to be looking at, I'm going to show you another collection of ours, but it's a collection of war movies we have. I won't be showing the content of it. We're just going to be talking about the small little collection of Remembrance Day movies. memorial war movies we have that might be interesting to watch around this time of year, since we're in November, and November's more remembering the people that fought for our freedom. And remember, it wasn't only humans that fought for our freedom, even animals like dogs that fought for our freedom. There's a lot of them that fought for our freedom. A few of them, I think I heard, they got some medals because they little four-legged animals ran into line of fire to save their comrades. So till next week, and we get into another collection episode, which we haven't done a collection episode since we talked about the records. And we look at, till next week when we look at, I show you the war movies we have. It's a short amount, but worth it. Till then, I will say goodbye. Goodbye.